Roughly 6 months after the election, we're taking a closer look at how Democrats are responding after losing the presidential election to Donald Trump and the Republicans. It's not uncommon to take a closer look in the mirror and try to figure out why. But it's not been an easy one for Democrats. So we wanted to take a closer look, a deep dive right here in North Carolina.
Please welcome President-elect Donald J. Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and the Trump family.
As the 2024 election ended with Donald Trump in the White House,
we accept the choice the country made.
Democrats were left wondering what happened.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
A party now facing low approval ratings, big losses with key demographics, and headlines like Dems' dark, deep hole.
I mean, our brand recognition, our name recognition doesn't have the best taste in people's mouths right now.
Are Democrats too woke, as Republicans claim, or is it overblown?
Everybody is having this conversation about our Democrats in the wilderness. And I would tell you that I would dispute that.
We will not allow it. Thank you very much.
Now, with 2026 elections in sight, an emotional fight against the man who put them in the spot.
And if people are not scared of that, if they don't feel threatened from that, I don't know what the to tell you, to be honest.
6 months later, I wanted to know where some of the state's top Democrats stand. Are there deep, dark foundational problems, or is it just a brief moment in time?
So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Anytime a party loses, there's often talk of a political autopsy. In short, a blunt and honest look at what went wrong.
To be very truthful with you, I think it was the fact that Joe Biden said he was going to be a one-term president and decided not to be, and that we didn't give Kamala Harris enough time to make a case to the American people.
Anderson Clayton leads the state party.
That was not enough time for anybody, in my personal opinion, to win an election or to make the case to the American people about why she should be.
First, I think that the size of Trump's win is overblown by Trump and just about everybody else.
State Senator Greg Meyer agrees with Clayton.
Honestly, I think if Biden had not run again and we had had an open Democratic primary, we probably still would have ended up with Kamala Harris, and we probably would have had a much stronger presidential campaign than what we ended up with. Would it have been different? I don't know, because the big picture items of where's the economy and where's the global sentiment, we're going to cut against incumbents no matter what.
But a deeper potential problem than candidates, the number of votes lost to key groups, including minorities.
In a lot of ways, we failed to put out a message that spoke to working class families across North Carolina.
And with Democrats right now, I mean, they are in the wilderness, and if they choose to continue pushing policies that the American people don't like, I don't care what their message is, they're still not going to have a comeback.
That's Jonathan Feltz, a top Republican consultant known for his mustache and sarcasm.
All right, cue the liberal agenda crusher.
In recent years, he's helped lead Ted Budd to the Senate, and newcomer Addison McDowell to Congress.
Oh yeah, sadly I am very intimately familiar with what they're going through right now. I was part of the Bush administration for George W. Bush in the second term. So leaving office in 2009, we did not have any House in Congress. We didn't have the House, didn't have the Senate, didn't have the White House, and I got to be honest, we didn't have too many friends whatsoever around the country or in Washington, D.C., and it's a lonely place to be when you're in the wilderness like that.
Everybody is having this conversation about our Democrats in the wilderness. And I would tell you that I would dispute that.
That's Morgan Jackson, a top Democratic strategist who worked for former Governor Roy Cooper and current Governor Josh Stein.
When Ronald Reagan wins in his first election, wins 90% of the states and 97% of the states in his second election, and George Bush wins 80% in 1988, that was the wilderness.
But Democrats are objectively in a tough spot. Recent national polling shows historic lows in terms of approval ratings as a party, 27% in an NBC poll and 29% in a CNN poll. An Economist YouGov poll shows 66% believe Democrats don't have a clear leader. In North Carolina, voter registration has dropped from 47% in 2004 down to 31% in 2024. Unaffiliated registrations are surging, but Republicans are neck and neck with Democrats now.
Republicans only care about winning. Democrats want to be right. And I got to tell you, I'm a Democrat that wants to win, believes that before you can be right, you have to win. If you want to affect public policy for people, you have to be successful. And platitudes don't get you very far if you don't win.
Our policies win the day every single day. The messenger is the issue.
Sidney Batch is the Democratic leader in the state Senate. She believes it's less about the issues and more about messaging.
I think that we have gotten into a state with Democrats to say that we will call people out rather than call them in. We say we're a big tent party, but we push a lot of people away. People don't want to be told what to do, what to say, how to feel. I think that we have lost the ability for us to be able to talk to people and to actively listen.
2 years ago, when we first interviewed then new state chair Anderson Clayton, she voiced similar concerns.
I want to change the Democratic brand. I want to make it so that we're showing up in rural areas again, that we're rebuilding the trust that we have lost in communities that look just like this one. And
so why do you think that trust was lost? That's at the root of what you're trying to fix, right?
And I say it a lot, we left people behind, but we just stopped showing up. No, I think I also told you 2 years ago that it wasn't going to happen over 2 years. We're talking about a 10-year rebuild of our party to be inclusive of all of North Carolina. We have a lot of work to make up for 10 years of, not representing and not being in communities that we could have. And I think that the message was hard to reach into rural North Carolina when they have been fed propaganda for the last 40 years against the Democratic Party.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Throughout much of the 2024 campaign, the debate centered on two old men running for president. In the aftermath, Democrats say they get it. The question is if they will listen to it.
We're only on the cusp of our generational shift in politics, and our party's not fully embraced it yet. And I think that we have a whole new way to go, and not just generationally, but I just think new people, folks that have never seen themselves run for office before.
Congratulations, first of all. It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Senate Democratic leader Sidney Batch is one of those new faces. This year, she replaced longtime leader Dan Blue in leadership.
I think that people who were in the chamber previously would see that Democrats weren't always as vocal, and we did not necessarily talk about everything. Well, our rules in the Senate don't allow for a filibuster. So what we would do, and what we did with SB 20, is we talked up to the time in which we all had the 10 minutes that we had for the conference report. Otherwise, we have 30 minutes.
Yet that big question remains. Will these protests, news stories, and more build back the party with working-class Americans, and quickly? With tears in her eyes, Anderson Clayton believes they have to.
I want to stand up for folks right now across this country that are being threatened. I don't believe that you should be able to walk on a college campus and take somebody off of it and strip them of the human dignity of being able to be denied due process. And that is what is happening right now in the United States. And if people are not scared of that, if they don't feel threatened from that, I don't know what the to tell you, to be honest.
A time to reflect, to look in the mirror, and be honest.
It's interesting for you to ask me some of these questions, to think through them, because honestly, I haven't been asked these questions before. I think about them, I'm writing about them, but we're not having enough of the conversations that you're having with me right now inside the Democratic Party. And so I'm even conscious that my answers are coming across as fairly formal because I'm having to think through it in real time. We don't have a playbook.
No playbook, but their next game, the 2026 elections, are essentially underway, creating an urgency for a game plan to grow the party and win elections now.